Hey guys, it's Julie here, your resident hairy godmother. Oh my gosh, I'm so creative. So today I'll be talking about how to make your natural hair journey and experience more enjoyable and easy. Yes, natural hair can be easy, and yes, you can enjoy having it too. No, your natural hair is not supposed to be hard. I've seen a lot of natural girls say, "Oh my gosh, the struggle of having natural hair," or "Oh, my fussy hair could never," enough to know that we need to get rid of the notion or belief or practice of associating natural hair with struggle and or pain. I believe natural hair has its quirks and what differentiates it from other hair types. For example, one of the quirks of natural hair is that when you have it as an afro, it does this when you lie down. And I think it's funny. It happens. It's not another reason to jump straight to hating your hair. There are so many steps before you arrive at that, okay? Let's dial it back and talk about why many of us find our natural hair to be hard. In this video, I'll provide 5 solutions, 5 steps to going from hard natural hair to easy mode. It's how you can actually see ways to make your natural hair experience and journey easier, seamless, and enjoyable. Some of you don't believe it. Natural hair can be easy, and some of you who don't believe it are the same set who thought it couldn't grow. But hey, hasn't that been proven wrong already? Natural hair can grow, it can be easy, and it can be fun. Okay, so let's get into it. One of the reasons why you struggle with caring for your hair or it's sometimes difficult for you to work with is number 1, you delay wash days too much. I know many naturals dread wash day because they feel like it's the day when you do the most work for your hair, especially if your hair is thicker or longer. But you already know beauty is pain and no pain, no gain. Actually, I think I should stop using expressions that have pain in them when talking about natural hair, because some of you just take that and run with it. Your hair is not supposed to bring you pain, okay? Washing your hair is just part of your beauty routine, and your hair needs it in order to thrive. If you're struggling with getting your hair to cooperate, or it's at that point where you can't do anything with it, your hair just might need some water. Many naturals space out their wash days as long as possible because they dread the hours spent washing. But all it does is make your hair more weighed down in the process. It's more build up, more dirt on your scalp, and more frizz that you have to deal with. It's at that point where your hairstyles don't even come out cute anymore and your hair is not just hairing. You don't need more leave-in conditioner or gel. You just need water to wash away everything and start afresh. A shampoo to strip your hair of the buildup and a conditioning treatment to remoisturize is a great way to get your hair back on track. Outsourcing wash day and going to salons that can care for natural hair is also a good option for people who feel like they don't have the time or know enough about taking care of their natural hair or going through the entire wash day process. But remember, clean hair thrives, okay? Clean hair makes things way more easier, and clean hair is just the best hair to work with. Another step to go from hard to easy mode is to trim your hair. People, you need to trim your hair. I feel like people hear this one a lot, but they don't actually hear it because we like length, we value length, we want length. And also, we hold on to the parts of our hair that don't serve us anymore. Like those relationships we should have left since that cause us nothing but misery, but for some reason, we're still holding on. And those, my friends, are the dead, brittle ends. And they cause problems to our overall hair. And I'm guilty of this too. For someone who hears this length over health mantra a lot, I too have held on to hair that I should have cut off way longer. For a long time, I wondered why I was struggling with dry hair that was prone to tangling. No matter how many times I moisturized, the tangling had become such a chore, not to mention painful. My hair was even hard to the touch. My afros were not flowing the way they used to, and I was wondering what next and what treatment to use. Combs got stuck easily in my hair, and this was new to me because it was one thing for my hair to be tangled, but after detangling, I wasn't supposed to still struggling with tangling. It's like as I'm detangling my hair, they were reattaching themselves to each other. It felt different from anything I'd experienced with my hair before. And that's why you should observe your hair and take time to actually get to know your hair so you know when it's acting up and when it's acting different so that you can understand where the issue is coming from. But for me, it took a long while for me to understand where this was coming from. I used to trim my hair occasionally, okay? But let me tell you, you see that little dusting of the ends that you do to your hair, it probably isn't enough. I for sure know that what I was doing at that point, which was just dusting up the ends of my hair from time to time, was not enough. When I realized that I'd been dealing with intense split ends, I realized that I had to let go of at least 4 inches of hair. Now, why did this happen, and how do you know if you need to trim or cut? I started using the Derman brush on my hair a couple of years back when all the hype and craze of it was on YouTube. It worked well, but I knew I had to at least detangle with my fingers and some products to get the brush to slide through my 4C hair easily. Now, I won't blame it on the brush. It's not the best for my hair type in my personal experience, but I also contributed to how much hair breakage it cost me. As a student in the university, I was sometimes in a hurry and I would just run the brush through my tangled hair in an effort to comb it out before rushing out. And I could tell that it was breaking off more hair than it should. But at that time, it was just easier to do. And this continued for a long time. And I didn't start feeling the effects of all that breakage till much, much later. Now, you may ask, what is a split end? A split end happens when your hair is cut unnaturally. Your strand is torn apart through force, causing a rip or a tear in the strands. This can happen through rough handling your hair. It is different from natural hair shedding that we all experience, and also different from when we cut our hair intentionally with sharp, appropriate scissors. Scissors cut the hair cleanly. A split end is unplanned, therefore uneven. It leaves your ends broken and vulnerable. A lot of people don't know they are dealing with the effect of split ends. They just chalk it up to having natural hair. The only way that you can treat a split end is to intentionally cut off those jagged ends with a sharp pair of hair shears. Please use sharp scissors so you don't cause more split ends when trying to avoid split ends, okay? To really visualize what a split end looks like, because we can't see it with our ordinary eyes, to us it's just hair, right? Now, imagine pulling apart cotton fabric. It rips, right? But the ends aren't smooth. It's shredded and ragged. This part becomes vulnerable and the fabric just slowly begins to unravel and shed and fall apart because the ends are being torn. Now, when you cut the fabric with the scissors, it looks way different, much smoother. Would you rather wear a dress with the ends looking frayed and worn, or one cleanly cut with the scissors? Alte people, please don't answer. Nobody asked you. Sidebar, the fabric you cut with scissors will also soon start to unravel as well, but think of the tacking as a protective style, which is why protective styles are important, but we'll soon get there, okay? Now, how do you know when you are dealing with split ends? Feel your fingers down your hair shaft. Do this when your hair is moisturized and stretched. Start from the root and slide it down. If you feel the texture change from smooth to brittle and spongy, that's how you know you're dealing with split ends. You have to let go of those old, broken, damaged ends of your hair so that you can enjoy the rest of your healthier, stronger hair. Your split ends stop responding to product. No amount of moisturizers or oils or curling cream will get them to behave. Nothing can typically heal a split end, okay? Nothing is going to regrow it or revitalize it. It needs to go. In my 4C experience, the hair will keep tangling or snapping as you try to separate the strands because they are just old and broken and brittle. Pain when you comb can also be because your hair isn't detangled. Inability to properly detangle could be due to damaged ends. As much as your afro likes to clump to each other, it shouldn't cause you so much pain when you try to separate. Keep your ends trimmed and make sure you're not being the Lulu and cutting less than you need to cut because trust, those split ends will catch up with you. You can go to a professional if you're unsure of how to properly trim or what to cut off, but this is important and it makes your hair sessions less challenging. If you don't trim enough, your split ends will keep traveling up to the point where you have to cut off a great amount because they will just make your overall hair experience unpleasant. So don't be like me. Trim your hair properly and trim enough just so you don't have to keep dealing with split ends. Now, the third step to making your natural hair go from hard mode to easy mode is stretching your hair. Many people undervalue the importance of stretching your hair. It's not just a vanity thing so you can see or flex your hair length. It's a health thing, especially if you have tight, coily hair, which is something many people don't know. Keeping your kinky hair stretched most of the time will save you a lot of time, breakage, and issues. As someone who enjoys their hair in both stretched and unstretched states, I've gotten to see the difference when I leave my hair in its natural, tightly coiled state and when I leave my curls elongated and stretched. Now, I talked about this in a video I made before, but to go over it, other than for aesthetic or low effort reasons, another merit of adding blowouts to your hair routine is that it prevents your hair from staying wet longer than it should after washing, which can be damaging for your hair long term. Also, because blown out hair tends to be straight-ish, you have the advantage of having your hair natural oils, also known as sebum, travel easily down the strands of your hair from the roots to the tips to coat and nourish your strands. Because of the spirally nature of Afro texture, these feats may be much more difficult for hair that is in shrunken states. For shrunken hair, you have hair growing upwards, inward, and in complicated vines that make it harder for the entire length of the hair to be coated in sebum, which is the best nutrient nature provided our hair with. And so the pieces of hair not getting enough sebum may dry off and break, causing split ends. And that's why many naturals incorporate hair stretching into their routines. Keeping your hair stretched most of the time, especially when it's out, will make it easier for your hair to get the nourishment that it needs, as well as avoid single strand knots and breakage. Another way to bring your hair to easy mode is using extensions that match your hair, especially when you're leaving your hair out. Yes, you can get away with styling your hair with straight ponies and extension, but it's a lot of work. You can do all that gelling and flat ironing, but when your natural hair texture starts to show in that humid temperature, and it will start looking some type of way. If you're styling your hair in a half wig or a ponytail, for example, get more extensions that match your texture to make it undetectable. That way, you only work to make the extension look more like your hair instead of making your hair look more like the extension. Trust me, there is a difference, mentally and physically. It's nice to want to switch up your look and have hairs that look different to explore different looks. I mean, that's the point of wigs, to explore, to experiment, to try out new things, right? But I noticed that many black women don't consider buying hairs in their texture when shopping for wigs or extensions. And so they have to work with making their own natural hair blend with foreign textures all the time, which can cause a lot of strain and fatigue to the hair, as well as a lot of frustration when it comes to styling the hair. You don't want to be self-conscious or always checking to see if your hair is reverting or if your hair is properly blended in with the extension. So if you want to be more relaxed and secure, opt for hair that cleanly match yours to switch to easy mode. Mali hair are such easy, effortless styles to take a break from manipulating your hair. You can also get kinky bundles or kinky curly extensions to work with your hair texture. Invest in more bundles that look more like your hair today. Now, the fifth and final step to switch from hard to easy mode in your hair routine is to leave your hair in protective styles. For the beginners, protective hairstyles are typically any hairstyle that keep the ends of your hair away. It keeps your hair from tangling or drying out, hereby breaking. It could be braids, twists, a bun, threading, or any style where your entire hair length is not out on display. Protective hairstyles offer ease. That's why many black women love to wear braids while going on vacations. When you're on a vacation, you engage in activities such as swimming, ziplining, maybe, other fun and adventurous things. I don't necessarily find wigs as ideal for these times because you don't want to have to start worrying about your wig flying off and smacking the person behind you right in the face when you're on the merry-go-round. That's going to be a not so merry ride. There is too many videos of black women losing their wigs while bungee jumping or getting in water slides. And it's just like, why would you do these things knowing you have a wig on? That's what I don't understand. I don't know what you were expecting other than your wig flying clean out of your head. Except you have that thing sewn into your scalp. I don't see why you thought you wouldn't lose your wig in a water slide. I really don't get it. To be more hands-off with your hair while on vacation and while wanting to just relax, I would recommend braids or Mali twists. You can wash your hair while it's in it if you don't want to have to worry about shrinkage and detangling and things like that while you're on a vacation. Switch to a fancy protective style that offers you the choice to be lazy as well as good looking. You can have it all. Another reason protective hairstyles will put you on easy mode is that they give your hair a break. My theory is that our hair type is not meant to be worn out like this all the time. If you even look at pictures of the hairstyles in pre-colonial times, they were mainly what you'd call protective styles. They served the purpose of protecting the hair and beautifying the hair. I think that leaving our hair out like this, it was something that we learned from the Europeans. I don't know. I'm just saying I think. Okay, if I'm wrong, correct me. But I feel like it's a learned beauty technique when it comes to hair care for Black African women. While it's not inherently a bad thing that we do that, we can't fight the very nature of our hair, which is to be in styles that keep the ends protected from time to time. We're the only race whose hair can do all this. Many other hair types couldn't hold curls like this and would unravel if they tried putting it in styles like this. Protective styles keep your hair from fatigue and also over manipulation, and also helps us go time to time with our hairs on easy mode. I should also point out that protective styles are not excuses for hiding your hairs under wigs or neglecting them or failing to wash and take care of your hair for 6 months straight. I think wigs have their purposes, but your hair should not be neglected in the process of trying on wigs, okay? So anyways, that's all for these videos, ladies, and I hope you've been able to learn a thing or two when it comes to styling your hair and going from the hard life to the easy life. And yes, I believe that you can have it all. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, and let me know what you think in the comments. If you have other that you use to take your hair from hard mode to easy mode, or just tips that you use in taking care of your hair in general and making life easier for yourselves, please share with the rest of us. Thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.